Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's another day on the Appalachian Trail. Appalachian. It depends on what part of the country you're from, I guess. And now that I'm in the north, I guess I said Appalachian. But some good friends of mine down south said it's Appalachian when I said Appalachian. Anyway, going to be another day on the trail here at the Happy Hill Shelter. Had my little spot back there and back under the very, very tall hemlock trees. I mean, these are massive trees here. And nice soft needle bed that the tent was in and comfortable evening. The shelter is quite unique here. Didn't stay in it. There was a gentleman in there, multifunction, and he happens to be from the Cleveland area, as I mentioned yesterday. So he headed off to town. Last year he hiked the Whites, so this year he's skipping over the Whites, and today he's going to skip over and go on up to Maine and make his way to Katahdin. But it was a great evening here in the shelter, and got up, have breakfast. Should be a very light pack right now, because if I had managed my food properly, there would be just today's snacks in the pack. But I probably have at least 4 pounds of extra snacks in a gallon Ziploc bag full. So maybe by the time I make it to Katahdin, my food management will be a little bit better. Anyway, I guess better to have more than enough than to need food. You never know. But today's a pretty easy, well, you know how it goes when they say it's easy, but probably a pretty easy hike. It's a total of 6 miles down to the post office, which will be just on the other side of the Connecticut River in Hanover, New Hampshire. And so crossing over into a new state today and a new map on the Far Out app. Looking forward to it. As I've mentioned, going to go in there and grab a resupply box and a box with my winter gear in it. Going to pull the items out of my pack that need to go back home, drop them in the that same box more than likely, and ship it back to the house. Going to have a Nero, so some town food today. Make our way to the Comfort Inn, a few miles from Hanover, and then a Zero tomorrow, and then off we go into New Hampshire. Looked yesterday, and we're just a few days south of the Hiker Welcome Hostel, where the fun begins. Anyway, hope you have a great day. I'm going to have a great day. Let's make it a great day. See you up the trail.
My watch says 4 a.m. My mind says stay in bed, but my spirit says go ahead to another day. Another day, and I've got miles to make, and not a single one will go to waste.
All right, you guys. So, right down that little blue blaze right there was the Happy Hill Shelter. It's where we stayed last night. Came from this direction, south. Springer Mountains back that direction. Oh, about 1,746 miles-ish. Something like that. That's where we started. Today, going to head that direction, north on the Appalachian Trail. See, look right here. It says north, south. You remember a couple weeks ago when I wasn't feeling well, I went the wrong direction. That was kind of a disappointment to hike almost a mile the wrong way. So not going to do that today. Today we're heading towards Hanover, New Hampshire. Nero and a Zero. Relaxation. On up the trail. Definitely some massive trees in this forest. The hemlocks and other varieties. Not sure what all they are, but some big ones. White blazing on the Appalachian Trail. Hey, look at that. My walls that I see continually. Someone just sitting around saying, look at all these rocks. I think I'll build a wall. I don't know how it happens, why it happens. But definitely some talented people. That wall yesterday had all kinds of rocks woven together and placed properly. Trail went off that way. I was just looking to make sure I didn't see a white blaze, and I didn't see one, but there's a white blaze on two trees up here. I guess they're wanting to make sure that you knew that you need to go this way and not off to the side. But there's a wall on the left here also. The ferns along the trail are starting to sense fall, I believe. But it's a beautiful morning. I think it was a little bit warmer last night than it has been for a few nights. And it's funny how it goes in the tent. Probably partially because I eat my meal that I eat is about as warm as I can possibly eat it, because I boil the water, put it in with the meal to hydrate it, and then trying to get it down as quick as I can so I can go to bed. That with my Carnation instant breakfast and a cup of coffee, a sleeve of coffee, a lot of warm food in my stomach. So you get into the tent, you cover up, and sometimes you feel cold at the beginning. Then you start getting a little bit warmer throughout the night. Start pushing the quilt off, different things. And then, of course, as it closes in towards morning, then you're pulling everything back up again. But I sleep very well in my tent. I had thought about jumping into that shelter because there was a lot of floor space and wouldn't have to set the tent up. But it seemed to sleep better in the tent. Plus, if you're in a shelter, most of the air mattresses that people sleep on, like mine, are very noisy. When you flip from one side to the other, they make a lot of noise and wakes the other person up in the shelter more than likely, because I know that it wakes me up when people are flipping around. And so it's just better in my tent. And since it was going to be dry this morning, no big deal. It's not like you're packing up a wet tent. But here's what I was talking about with the ferns. They are sensing that their season is over. I've been filming these things all summer long, haven't I? Beautiful trail this morning. Through the hill, over the hill, and through the dale, I guess. But pretty excited today to be going into town. Because this is my 17th day of hiking without taking a zero. I am going to enjoy having half a day off today and the full day off to relax tomorrow. Well, imagine that I go that direction. There's a sign here that says Tucker Trail to Norwich. So we're going to go this way and see what this sign says. This sign says AT North, Elm Street, 3.3 miles. Connecticut River, which is New Hampshire, is 5.1. I believe that's what that said. So this is the right direction. One thing I wanted to mention was that, and I may have mentioned this already, but Vermont, they affectionately call it Vermud, hikers on the Appalachian Trail. because there's so much mud in Vermont. And I guess maybe fortunately for me, unfortunately for the forest here in Vermont this year, those dry hilltops that we've been seeing where the green leaves were dried up on the tree and just falling off brown. There's a drought in Vermont, and so I would say there's been very little mud on the miles that I've done in Vermont. As a matter of fact, it's been pretty dry, which maybe has challenged the water sources a little bit, but I've been able to make do with what we had, and then a water cache yesterday at a very appropriate time of the day and place in the hike. But the trail that is normally muddy is just a very fine, dusty dirt. And the last 3 days, when I pulled my socks off, my legs and my feet have just been nasty, dirty, just black with dirt. Because this dust from what is normally mud is so fine that it's worked its way through the socks. And last night I couldn't take it anymore, so I got my little collapsible dog bowl out and poured 4 ounces or so of my valuable water into it and wiped my legs and my feet down. I took a picture of them last night, so you probably saw that nasty picture. But I mean, I'm sure not super clean, but they're definitely cleaner than they were before I wiped them down. And it felt so much better to have somewhat clean legs and feet sleeping than to be otherwise. But yeah, very, very, very small amount of mud in Vermont this year, which is unusual. So I just wanted to point that out before we leave Vermont. I think I mentioned yesterday that the lady doing the trail magic said that they call those steep inclines and declines that we were going up and over and up and over the Vermont roller coaster. Because you know, I went through the Virginia roller coaster a couple months ago. They call it the Vermont roller coaster. And made me feel a little bit better that I'm not the only one that kind of grumbles a little bit about it, because it just seems like it's so much in your face that you just grind up. I don't know, there's an angle that I don't like, the one where you feel like you have to get up on the balls of your feet to go up it. Somebody yesterday said that 30 degrees, I don't know. I'm not familiar with, I know what a 45-degree angle is, and it's quite a bit steeper than that. So I would think the larger the number, the higher the incline. But anyway, it was steep ups and then knee-jarring downhill, only to be followed by a steep up and another knee-jarring downhill. And they say it's getting you ready for New Hampshire and Maine, but I don't know that that's really helping any. We'll be doing that regardless. But I just wanted to point out that it's been very dry here, and that's why we're seeing the dusty, dry tops and very little mud on the trail. Probably maybe a little over 2 miles into the morning, and from what I recall on the Far Out app and the sign back there, you pop out onto Elm Street in Hanover. Maybe called a different town right there. Anyway, you pop out on Elm Street, maybe into a neighborhood, after about 3.9 miles. So probably within another mile or so, we'll get into civilization, I'm guessing. And then it must be about a couple 3-mile walk through down some streets or roads and into town and across the Connecticut River into New Hampshire. And the post office in Hanover looks like it's just on the other side of the Connecticut River, north of the river. And that's where I'm headed right now. Was doing a bit of contemplation over where to stay down in Hanover, and with Dartmouth College being there, the hotels and different things are super expensive. And so found a Hampton Inn that was maybe 3 or 4 miles away. I forget the name of the junction, but down the road just a little bit. Initially had booked the hotel, the Hampton Inn, but then yesterday when we started looking a little bit closer, thought, well, let's go on Google Maps and look around the hotel and see what's around, because when you don't have a vehicle and you rely on walking every place, proximity to restaurants and different things are pretty important. And saw that the Hampton Inn was on the other side of a highway or freeway or something from some restaurants. And we checked the Quality Inn. There wasn't much around it, but found a Comfort Inn, which was, I guess, real close to a McDonald's. And there's a Chinese all-you-can-eat restaurant there. There's a barbecue place, but I think that somebody said they don't open until maybe a day or two after we leave. But there's 2 or 3 different places that we'll be able to walk to and eat. And of course, we already have our resupply. I already have my resupply because it's in a box that my wife sent to me. So the only thing in addition to that, I'd like to find a fuel cylinder. But another hiker that I met a couple times, probably well over a month ago now, lives within an hour of Hanover, and her trail name's Mojo, and she's going to come and pick me up at the post office and take us over to that hotel. So I think she's maybe working on trying to find a fuel cylinder for me, or may have something that she already has. But we don't have too much to do other than grab our stuff at the post office, swap it out, and then relax for a day and a half. It's like a southbounder here. So coming down the trail here, and maybe, I don't know, a mile or so from the road that I just told you we're going to pop out on, saw a couple gentlemen heading southbound. And they'll tell you where they're headed from and to, but I told this gentleman that, wow, you grew that beard out in the course of a couple hours. That's pretty good. Anyway, do you have trail names?
I'm Copperhead.
I'm Speedy.
Copperhead and Speedy?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you out doing today or this afternoon? Or
We just started right here in Vermont, right there at the bridge, and we're going to do about probably 100 miles of the trail we section hike. Try to get up here every year and just knock out 100 miles every year.
Okay.
And for today, we're just going to keep going until we can't go no more.
That's what we do.
Run out of gas.
It's nice to stay at a shelter, I guess, but we don't usually stay in the shelter anyway. So
Yeah, that's right.
we just try to go till about 5:30 or so and find a flat spot.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
the way we do it.
Well,
And both of us are in law enforcement, and I was in the military, so we appreciate what you do. Or Tunnels with Towers, that's awesome. That's a good little gig there. That's
well, good. Yeah,
a lot of good stuff right there.
we didn't have a chance to talk about it a lot before I started filming this, but I was a firefighter in Colorado back during 9/11, and I figured if anything will help keep me motivated to keep going up the trail, it'd be the hike for people that are having the worst days that they could possibly ever think of.
Absolutely.
And if they can do what they have to do, then I can I can hike on a trail.
Yeah,
All right.
So
good deal.
thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, we need our law enforcement, our military, our first responders, and we're thankful for them all.
All one big family, that's for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys take care.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Okay, just popped out of the woods here. That's the sign looking back south. That White River Bridge is the bridge that we crossed over right before we got the trail magic. And Podunk Road is the road we walked up before we jumped in the woods last night. But popped out on this road, and I think this is probably Elm Road or Elm Street. And we have about a 3-mile road walk now, is my understanding, which will take us down into Hanover, across the Connecticut River, and into the state of New Hampshire. It's about 9:30. We're on schedule to, I guess, be at the post office about when we wanted to be, about 11 o'clock. Get things all sorted out in our packs, some things shipped back home, and then be picked up around noon for a little lunch and a shuttle drive over to the hotel. So here we go, a little pavement walking. Hey, it's part of the AT. It's white blazed. It all counts. There's a little indicator right there of what the winters are like in Vermont. Look at the stack of firewood behind this house. Boy, it's stacked up nice, isn't it? A lot of warmth there. Let's see, what does it say about firewood? It warms you when you cut it and split it, and it warms you when you burn it. So looks like there's been a lot of warming created by that tree right there.
I've seen photos of that before, and usually it's much fuller.
Maybe the state law, but I want to make sure that he's following the state law, you know? All right, I think this is the Connecticut River, you guys. And we're getting ready to cross over into New Hampshire. There we go. Very pretty. All right, you guys, look right here.
All right.
Vermont. We're leaving Vermont. Goodbye, Vermont.
Welcome to New Hampshire.
Welcome to New Hampshire. So Grayson and I just crossed over into New Hampshire, and we met this young man here. What's your trail name?
I'm Smiles.
How'd you get that name?
Guess.
So you hiked in 2022?
2022, and I loved Dartmouth so much that I applied and got in, and tomorrow's my first day of freshman year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And you said that you enjoyed the hike.
Oh,
the
yeah.
through hike. That was
Amazing.
really hard.
it was so hard, but it was so worth it. And this section, the next 200 miles, were my favorite part of it.
Good.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys are in for a treat.
we've been a little nervous about the next section, but
You've got it. You've got it. You've made it this far. It's not that bad. Just slow down a little and enjoy it.
sounds good. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
And
Good luck.
best of luck with your
Thank you.
college year
Appreciate
here.
it.
in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah, you guys as well. Same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, Smiles.
See you guys. Bye, Creek. Bye, Grayson.
You're moving a little faster than we are.
Have fun.
Georgia to Maine, we're following the white blaze. Every step I take is one more mile closer to your face. Right now we're somewhere between Maryland and New York State. From Georgia to Maine, we're following the white blaze. It started in the spring when the dogwoods were in bloom. In those Tennessee mountains, I spent the night with you. And now it's fall, and you're almost through. You started in the spring when the dogwoods were in bloom. One foot in front of the other, right foot, left foot, step for me, lover. Every night I lie and wonder, where's he laying his head tonight? You were just in Pennsylvania. Baby, the weather's getting crazier. Hurry up before the snow falls in Maine. From Georgia to Maine. There's a man out here named Creek who hikes barefoot every day. I've seen his footprints in the mud from Pennsylvania. And his wife is waiting for him to make it back home.